the beginning, when I was not so used to the camera, facing the camera, it was difficult for me. I would definitely agree to that. It is not so easy, something that you have not done before.
Welcome to Real Talk No Filter. This is your host, David. My guest today is Ishani, in which she speaks about glossophobia, which is the fear of public speaking. On her YouTube channel, which is RJ Ishani, she goes over tips and tricks in which we're able to overcome these fears of public speaking. In our conversation today, we do talk about our personal experience of public speaking and what we did to overcome it. Stay tuned.
Oh, thanks a lot. So my podcast is a YouTube podcast where I basically invite guests from all over the world to share some inspiring stories, or it can also be educational stuff, and also related to communication, English speaking, anything. So if it is related to my genre, I am a public speaking coach, I'm a radio jockey. So if it is related to that communication aspect, that is one aspect, or anything inspirational. So these are the main areas that I talk about in my podcast, which is called Share It with Ishani. Yeah, that's it.
Excellent.
I release it every week, and yeah, that's it about my podcast.
One of the key things that really struck me with your podcast, as you mentioned, is the communication tips on public speaking. From what I could tell, well, one, it's a very important piece because communication is a important aspect of one living and communicating with each other, and it's very important in that sense. It's also important to actually convey your message, and I think a lot of the problems with today's communication is that a lot of people do not know how to convey their message properly. So,
Yeah.
based off of everything that you know and learned, tell me more about that.
Okay. So I would say that communication is something which is not limited to what you speak. It is not limited to verbal aspect of it. You can also communicate. You already do communicate in non-verbal aspects as well. It is both ways. And the most important thing about effective communication is that whatever is going on in your mind, you convey to that person, and you convey in a way that is not only beneficial to you but also to that person. We have to talk to the other person from the point of view of that other person. So that is the basis of any communication, I would say, because you are talking about something without taking care of the other person. In that case, your communication process is going to break down.
Mhm.
So it is both ways, not only you but also the other person. So both the both the people have to be taken into consideration when it comes to communication.
And you're absolutely right on that one.
Yeah.
Because communication, you're absolutely right. It's not verbal only. We communicate with hand gestures. We communicate through writing letters and emails and so on and so forth. But like we mentioned, both, it's just how you convey and how the
Yeah.
receiver receives your communication. Because I
Yes.
think the other part of communication is actually listening. Because I believe that once you
Mhm.
listen, you're able to analyze what is being said to
Yes.
you. Therefore, you're able to
Yes.
come up with the correct answer or something that conveys your
Obviously.
emotions better
Yeah.
that way. Um,
Definitely. Yeah.
mm,
So it is not only like you have mentioned quite a lot of things, and I felt these are the aspects that need to be discussed in more detail, which I do in my course that I have with me, my coaching programs. But yeah, definitely facial expression, hand gestures, these are the things that are important in any kind of communication. And of course, if it need not be only these things, but also the way you are dressing up, that also communicates a lot about you as a person. Dressing up or what you exactly do, all those things together will help communicate to the other person. Yeah.
you're absolutely on that one. One thing you talked about again is that public speaking. And I believe that
Mhm.
today's society, we're so behind computers and behind the keyboard and behind cell phones and stuff like that, that we are, I think we are lacking in that skill set of having a form of public speaking, because public speaking does not go between, let's say, standing up in front of 2,000 people and talking. Public speaking can be just you and 5 or 6 of your friends, or not even friends, but strangers, and you're trying to build your case and point. So in honesty, in your line of profession, how would someone deal with that?
Yeah, so are you specifically asking about virtual speaking, virtual public speaking, where
Mhm.
because these days we are more over Zoom calls than on stage and speaking there. So if that is the case, I don't know how it is difficult, because in the beginning, when I was not so used to the camera, facing the camera, it was difficult for me. I would definitely agree to that. It is not so easy, something that you have not done before. So I could speak on stage, I could speak in front of the people face to face, but when it came to the camera, when I started making my own videos, for the YouTube and all and other platforms, it was difficult for me. I was very awkward in front of the camera. That is very true. But it always takes practice. If you just run away, if you just stop doing the thing because you are awkward or you are not comfortable with, then that is not going to go anywhere. You are not going to grow if you just stop doing that. Instead, take that step, even if you are really just doing it in a very crappy way, you are screwing it up, still do that. Be uncomfortable, do that thing, and repeat it over and over again till you feel more and more comfortable. And once you do that, eventually you will feel more comfortable with that, and of course you will also become more comfortable in front of the camera or whatever thing that you have been doing. So I would say practice is key. You need to practice that thing, be in front of the camera and start speaking. It is not that difficult also. It is only that first step that we need to take. And once we are able to do that, eventually it will go like, yeah, that will be really fine after a while.
You're absolutely right on that one, because I think a lot of people are scared to take that first step. And I think
Yeah.
once they take that first step, they realize either A, it is very scary and they don't want to do it again, or B, they take that first step and they realize, oh, it's not that bad. So I've
Yeah.
I've trust I've me my personal experience. I'll share a little bit on that one. I remember in grade number 7. Yes, it was grade 7. I did a report on Julius Caesar for my history class, and I hated public speaking. Like, just in front of my classes, I was not a talker. I hated it. I was good at writing reports, and I stood up there and I'm reading off like these little cue cards that I made, and my head was down, and I'm just like mumbling to myself very slow. And the teacher looked at me and he's just like, did you do the homework? Did you do that? Like, did you actually write it? I'm like, yes. He's just like, so you know it then? I'm just like, yeah. He's like, so give me your cards for a second. He gave me, so I gave him my cards and he threw them in the garbage. And he's just like, if you know it, then you should be fine. You don't need the cards. You don't need a reference.
Yeah.
I started sweating. I swear I had a fever. And just like that, something happened and something clicked. And I'm just like, you know what? He's right. If I did the work, if I did the report, if I knew everything I knew about, and I did the research, I did that hard work, then I should just read it off and make it be easier. So I went from a really shy person looking down at cue cards, and I'm looking to someone that, like, in that instant, I was walking up and down the classroom aisles, and I'm just talking, I'm hand gesturing, and I'm just like, what? I was like, thinking to myself, like, what it was like done. I'm like, what did I just do? And all I got was everyone would start clapping and just like, David, you're the best. That was awesome. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, what did I do?
It
It's
actually takes that first, I don't know, maybe that first embarrassment. I would say
yeah,
the first embarrassment, but after you're embarrassed for the first time, then then you become so comfortable. You are not anymore afraid of speaking in front of the people. And
yeah.
with your story, I went back to my college days. That was the first time I was asked to present in front of my class. Okay, before that, I had never done this presenting thing. And of course, like others, I too was very, very nervous about that. And yeah, although I started speaking, it was with my friend. Two of us were presenting together. So it was a little comforting, but still it was very scary. Then after we began speaking, there was some mistake with my slide. And my professors, there were three of them sitting on my class full of friends. Okay. So they were sitting and looking at our presentations, and three professors sitting and watching us. And as I started presenting, there was some mistake which one of the professors pointed out. And, that mistake was really very silly. That the entire class started laughing. And even the professors were smiling. And that was so embarrassing, I tell you. It was really very embarrassing. But I really needed that. I needed to get embarrassed in front of the people, in front of my class, only to get better at my next presentation. So from there, from that point of embarrassment, then I proceeded to become a more improved presenter. So next was better one, an improved one, not the great or something, but an improved one. So that is how I practiced and improved upon my presentation skills, and gradually. And in my third year, I still remember that was one presentation that I would remember throughout my life, because every single person in that room was pretty much very impressed by my presentation. They were like, wow. I was really appreciated, and I felt, even you feel yourself when it is something that you have done correctly or something to your satisfactory level. So I too felt really satisfied after that presentation. So from the first year, first presentation, to my third year, that presentation that I had given. So there's a huge difference between the two. So this is the crux of it. You need to practice, practice, and practice, and keep improving with each practice. That is the mantra of any public speaking.
You're absolutely right on that one. I honestly think, like, both of us, we've had these moments where I guess it defies us to be more comfortable in public speaking. I think what really set us apart from those that are still struggling with public speaking is that at that point we had pride in our work. And because we had that pride in our work, we were able to overcome, in quotation, this adversary of public, of the shyness and the daunting of fear of public speaking, whether it's among your colleagues or among strangers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so it's quite interesting. I remember they always say, "Oh, picture the audience naked and you'll be okay." That doesn't work. It doesn't work at all.
It doesn't work actually. So basically what you're trying to do is trying to replace one emotion with the other. What if you start laughing after imagining all that? What then?
Yeah, I remember one person said that to me, like, when I was like back in the day, like, "Oh yeah, I made the person even worse." The person's like, "Oh yeah, I sometimes imagine like the audience members like naked or like in their underwear." I'm just like, buddy, there's still two eyes on every person looking at you. And as soon as I said that to him, he just went from like up here to like down there. He's just like, "You're right." I'm just like, yeah. So
Seriously, like whoever has come up with this concept, I really want to know who that person is.
it is very interesting. Referring to your YouTube, what you mentioned, I believe I went through something similar as well. when my first video podcast came out, I was very nervous, I would say. Um, I didn't know where the conversation was going to go. The fact that now, because previous to my very first video podcast, it was strictly just audio. And I was just like, huh, I kind of don't want to show my face in any of these podcasts. But when I reached out, I'm like, you know what? I have to do something. I want to, I've always said it. And these are my right now, I'll say my mini goals. I know someone like Joe Rogan is killing it in the podcast world right now. And I'm going to compete against them. I don't care what anyone says. And when that happens, like I want to make sure that my face is there. I want to make sure that someone sees me or knows that, hey, that is the guy that competed against Joe Rogan and gave him a run for his money in a sense, and has changed the podcast world from not interviewing, I'll say, these amazing guests and celebrities that he does, to just interviewing everyday people. And that's exactly what my podcast is about. It's about interviewing everyday people, because everyday people is what's turning the world right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Uh,
That is a really great concept. Even I was thinking of doing the same. Actually, I'm doing the same. It is not that I'm inviting anybody very special, just the common people, because each one of us has our struggles to share with the world, struggles and overcoming those struggles or challenges in our life. So everybody has a story to share, I believe.
You're absolutely right on that one, and that's what I love about this, especially the community that we are both a part of. I love the Facebook
Yeah.
group. Lovely people there. A lot of people that are willing to share. A lot of people that are willing. And the biggest key word I've been hearing so far is to serve. A lot of them are serving the community, giving their time and their assets and knowledge to someone like us that just started in this podcast world. And I'm very proud of them. I'm very happy for those. I've made a lot of friends. I've networked, and it's just been a wonderful journey. I've learned a lot, especially from you. You're like, hey, get a calendar. I'm just like, I don't need a calendar. I can do it all myself. And I realized I realized that something so simple as getting a calendar is just something that I don't have to worry about. It's, you just set up the days that you're available, set up the times that are available. And if people that actually truly care to want to be on your show, they will go and fill out that calendar, and you're not stuck with writing down and keeping memos and notes on when to schedule and everything like that. So I'm grateful for you, and I'm grateful for those other people that have given me those tips and tricks on how to make the scheduling and reaching out for guests a lot easier.
It was just a pleasure. I mean, it was just a kind thing that I could do to help you out. Even I did not know about this thing, even I learned from a fellow podcaster who had once sent me this Calendly link with a set of questions. From him, I learned, okay, so this is how you set up your podcast. This is how you invite guests. And I was just sharing that knowledge with you because that is really convenient.
Yeah, it really is. And just for everyone to know, anyone that watches this, again, everyone has their own style of podcast of how to get guests. Everyone has predetermined questions and so on and so forth. I am not one of those persons at all, like at all. I love the freestyle, sit down, have a conversation between two people or more. I'm gonna be doing a live stream in a couple of weeks from now with like 5 or 6 people, and all that. Everything is unscripted, and that's what really is what my brand is about. It's real talk, no filter, as in anything can go, anything could happen, anyone could say anything they want on the show, but at the same time we give respect. And I think that's the biggest thing with podcasting and with the guests I've had, is that everyone shows respect. We all appreciate everyone's idea, everyone's opinion, and we do not judge them based off of that, because everyone has walked a different mile, I would say.
Yeah, that is really beautiful. Your concept is really beautiful and no filter. You just have a conversation. And this is so interesting. It makes your day. If you have, um, you're conversing with another person, you don't know this person, but now you are getting to know this person through your podcast thing. This is something I really cherish.
Mhm.
It is a beautiful feeling, and that is why after I did my first podcast recording, I decided that this is going to go on no matter what. I'm going to continue with this. This is so amazing.
I love that, and you're absolutely right. And I love the fact that even we could talk, and we are about like 14 hours, I think, or 16 hours difference in time zone. It's
Yeah,
it's nice. It's nice to know that that we're able to just do that, and to know that someone that is, again, that difference of 14 to 16 hours in time zone has that same mindset as myself. And there's more people out there that I've interviewed, and they have that same concept of purpose and willingness to share and to showcase what they can and cannot do. I honestly, I love it. I love it.
yeah. This is so beautiful. Like it must be morning in your time zone. It's past 10, right? 10 a.m. or so. And it is
Yeah,
about 8 p.m. here.
yeah. It's just been an awesome journey, and I truly do
Yeah.
enjoy it, and I love it. Any final thoughts and words you'd like to share?
Yeah. I would say that anybody who's struggling with public speaking or has stage fright, I would say face your fears. Come on, dude. You can do it. It is not only public speaking. There are so many sports activities. There are adventure sports. You do rock climbing, then paragliding, all those things. You need some, you just need that voice from inside you that will say, come on, just take that step. You can do it. And after you just do it, you will be in a completely different world. You will find how exciting that thing is, which you were scared of throughout your life. Even I was an introvert. I was scared of speaking in front of the people. But when this first incident happened, and then I started with more and more presentations, eventually it was far better than what I used to be. And gradually I understood that how exciting this is. This public speaking, speaking in front of the people, and eventually I went on to become a radio jockey with a radio station in India. It is so exciting to go and speak to people, to just converse with them. It is really exciting. Don't think of it like a presentation or you talking to a huge group of people. Instead, turn it into a conversation thing. If you can do that, I'm sure that you will love and you will enjoy and love doing anything like speaking in front of the people or any presentation. The next time you have to give a presentation, it will be really exciting for you. I can guarantee that. It is everything is about mindset. If you turn that fear into excitement, from a negative feeling to a positive feeling, that is where the change lies. After that, you'll see how exciting this is. You will love doing it. It is similar with podcast. Yeah, you love doing it. In the beginning, you might be having thoughts that what is it going to be like talking to this person with whom I have never talked before. But once you do that, you'll realize how exciting it is. So that is all about public speaking. It is nothing that big that we should be scared of.
I love what you said, and you're absolutely right. I think you mentioned something about playing sports and paragliding. One, I'd love to do paragliding, hopefully like a next year bucket list thing. But I believe that playing sports allows people to be an extrovert, and also overcome some sort of public speaking, because you're able to interact with strangers when you're playing
Mhm.
games like soccer, cricket, baseball, basketball. Because if you have that passion to score a goal and have your team to win, and that drive, you're going to be a little bit louder. You're going to be like, hey,
Yeah.
pass the ball, hey, watch out. You're going to say those things, just to have that form of communication within your team. So I believe sports helps a lot of people nowadays to be able to overcome some fears of public speaking. Maybe a little bit, because again, like I've played every sport under the sun, and up until my embarrassment moment, I'll say in the history class, I wasn't that I was vocal during the playing sports, but not so vocal when presenting. But again, as we both mentioned, until we have that pride and we take ownership of the work that we've done, then I think truly then we could start to overcome those fears of public speaking and also those introverts moments as well.
Yeah. This is something like this has this is true to some extent. I would say like sports will help you. The reason why I mentioned sports was these are something that a few sports activities that would require a lot of courage for you to perform. Similarly, public speaking with a lot of people, that is the number one death. I mean, number one fear, not number one death. Number one fear, I wanted to say that death is the number two fear, but number one is public speaking. So people are scared of public speaking more than death.
I for one, if it was up to me, snakes is my number one fear, and then number two will be like death after, and then it just goes down from there. I no, I can't do snakes whatsoever. Ishani,
Yeah.
it's been a pleasure talking to you. It's awesome. I know for sure we'll be continuing to connect with your podcast. I'm most likely I'm gonna show up on your podcast. So you're gonna have me as a
For
guest.
sure. Definitely. I would love to do that.
So everybody, oh, Ishani, what is your podcast name?
Share it with Ishani. And my channel's name is RJ Ishani, where I share not only my podcast. Podcast is just one segment. And besides that, I also share communication and public speaking tips on my channel, RJ Ishani. So
Excellent.
that is what it is about. Yeah.
Excellent. So everybody, you heard that here. Links and descriptions and all that stuff, the good stuff for her podcast will be on, and her communication tips, which will benefit everybody, will be in the description box. This is David, and like always, it's been a pleasure.
Thanks a lot, David. Thanks a lot for having me on your podcast. And soon you're going to be on my podcast. I'm looking forward to it.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.